Let's take a look at the rackets of top badminton players at the 2021 BWF Badminton World Championships. So at the last 16 stage, there are still 124 players from 22 countries remaining in the draw across all 5 disciplines. Racket brands wise, I was able to identify 13 brands, which was slightly bigger spread compared to when I looked at the players' rackets at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Check it out here. So to watch all the action from all the BWF streams live, you can use one of the 2 VPNs I've linked in the description below here to unblock yourself to watch all the action. So in terms of racket numbers, Yonex completely owns this category with 86 players out of the 124 using their rackets. Victor was second with 11 players, Ning was third with 10 players, Forza got the consolation prize with 7 players using their rackets. Mizuno, Gosen, Flypower and Protec all have 2 players each, and Wilson, Adidas, Apacs, Felet and Babolat all have 1. So if we take a closer look at the Yonex rackets, the Astrox models were the most popular with 46 players using them, followed by the Nanoflares with 16. The Arc Sabers and the Duoras have 10 players apiece, and the old but gold Voltrics have 4. So in terms of models, there were 18 models on show here, slightly less than the Olympics, which had 20 models. In terms of individual models, 3 stood out with 10 players using them here: the Arc Saber 11, the Astrox 100ZZ and the Nanoflare 700. Pretty fitting that we have a head-heavy, even balance and a head-light racket as 3 of the most popular models at the World Championships. To look at all this data that I've compiled here, go to my blog and my website at ckYW.com/blog. I'll leave the link in the description below. Oh yes, check out the merch store too while you're out there. Peace. Players such as Aaron Chia, Norizudin, Ji Ting, Matthias Christensen and Zhao Junpeng were playing with the Arc Saber 11, and we have Takuro Hoki, Chen Qing Chen, Laksha Sen, Akane Yamaguchi and Wakana Nagahara, who swapped to the 100ZZ from the 88S Pro at the Olympics previously. For the Nanoflare 700, we have big name players like Arisa Higashino, Wang Qilin, Sohee, Shin Seungchan and Siki Reddy using it. One player who I noticed swapped out of the Nanoflare 700 is Michelle Lee of Canada. She's currently playing with a first generation Astrox 88D at this World Championships. The next most popular racket for Yonex was the Astrox 77 with 8 players, and followed by the Astrox 88D Pro with 7. The Astrox 77 players are An Se-young, Kim Ga-yun, Han Yue, Wang Ziyi and Isabel Lohao. The Astrox 88D Pro went with Marvin Seidel, Kim So-young, So Wei-yik, Robin Teblin and Li Wenmei of China. So if we look at the most recent racket launched by Yonex, the Astrox 99 Pro, which I've done a review here, there are only 3 players using it: Li Zijia, Lee Chiok-yu and Kevin Corden. We probably would have 4 if Kenta Momota was playing too. Old school models such as the Voltric Z-Force 2 were used by Marcus Ellis, Lauren Smith and H.S. Pranoy. Let's now take a look at Victor rackets, and I was able to identify 7 models with the Aura Speed 90K and Thruster AF having 3 players apiece using them. All the Aura Speed 90K users were Danish players, with ex-neighbours Anders Antonsen and Rasmus Gemke using them alongside Sarah Tigerson. For the Thruster F, we have Sarah's partner, Maiken Fuegard, Malaysia's Lai Pei Jing and Kirsty Gilmore too, who had an amazing win against Aya Hori in the earlier rounds. Other models that had 1 player each was the Jet Speed S12 by Ashwini Ponappa, so the Thruster F Enhanced Edition used by Go Sun Huat, which coincidentally is also other pros Greg Mayers and Jenny Mo's racket of choice too. Video of the racket back here. We then have the Thruster Ryuga D by Tan Ken Ming, and this is Jamie Siobhan Lai, who is Go Sun Huat's partner, who is using Aura Speed 90F. And finally, the big superstar Tai Tzu Ying is using her Thruster FC Limited as usual, although she's for some reason wearing Yonex clothing and also using Yonex bags. Is this a sign that a sponsor swap is about to happen? What do you think? Comment down below. We then move to Li Ning, which has a lot of big name players playing with their rackets, starting with Yuta Watanabe and Ong Yu Sin with the Aeronaut 9000C, as well as Teo Yi with the normal Aeronaut 9000. We then have 4 players using the Tectonic series, which Kim Apstrup and Pornpawi Cho Chuong using the Tectonic 7K, Srikanth Kidambi using the Tectonic 9, before rounding out with Sayaka Takahashi using the Tectonic 7I. Kim Apstrup's partner, Anders Skarup Rasmussen, is playing with the Li Ning Caliber 900C. And finally, Loh Kean Yew, who is making big waves on the circuit over the last 2 months alongside PV Sindhu, is playing with the turbocharging 75C. For Forza, I was able to identify 4 models from their players who are all Danish, French and Norwegian. For Hans Christian Vittinghus, I believe he was playing with the Power 988S, and for Fabian and Delphine Delroux, I believe both of them are playing with the Forza Precision 12000S. And finally, Mia Blickfeldt is using her AeroPower 1088S. So as an added surprise, Indonesian fans should have something to cheer about, as Flypower is also represented by previous All England champions Vladimir Ivanov and Ivan Sozonov. I can see Vladimir is playing with the Flypower Master 07 and Ivan is using the Enigma 900 version 2. Another brand that's not present at the Olympics would be Felet, who are currently sponsoring Go Vishem and Angus Ng-Ka-Long, although Angus don't feature on this list as he did not make the last 16. Vishem is playing with the Felet Woven TJ Power, and Tan Wee Kyung, who won an Olympic silver medal with Vishem, is currently playing with Apacs Tweet 8000. They're all random names, right? Wilson is another brand that tends to only have a single player represented deep into tournaments. Misaki Matsutomo of Japan is that representative and plays with the Wilson Fierce CX9000J. What is going on with these names? Speaking of Japan, Mizuno is another brand that is quite familiar with Japanese players, mostly in terms of shoes, but rackets are starting to come through. We now see Rin Iwanaga and Kia Nakanishi of Japan rocking the Mizuno Fortis 20 in their women's doubles matches. Remember to go check out the data on my website and give this video a like and subscribe if you've enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.